you know what? I'm so happy that I was raised in the Caribbean.
Why?
I think that is what made me who and how I am today. I know it's not a word, but that brought up C, as they say, you know?
I love that.
That brought up C. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Hi, I'm Chantal Miller, proud Navision and Jamaican, and your host for the Island Girls Rock podcast. This is a series of conversations featuring women of the Caribbean and its diaspora. Equal parts fun, informative, thought-provoking, inspiring, and always engaging. Welcome to our tribe. On this episode, we speak with Keisha Des Vignes, makeup and hair artist. To the stars, no less. No, well, soon. Anyway, Keisha's an amazing makeup and hair artist, born and raised in Trinidad, and we speak about her adventurous spirit of leaving Trinidad at the age of 19, her journey to where she is now, the fact that she is a scientist, has aspirations to be a surgeon still, has worked in IT, just all of her amazingness. But at the foundation of that, a very, very Trinidadian, Trini to the bone creative. Lots of fun with Keisha on this episode. Hey, Keisha.
Hi, Chantal. How are you?
I'm fine. And I'm really happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
All right, Keisha. So let me say this. Who you repping?
Who I repping? I repping the Caribbean people, but Trini to the bone. Trini to the bone.
I knew that saying was going to come up. Trini to the bone.
Trini to the bone, man. Yeah, Trini to the bone.
All right. So, Miss Trini to the bone, Keisha. Keisha, you know what? What I'm actually going to ask you is, how do I pronounce your surname?
My surname, it is pronounced Des Vignes.
Des Vignes.
So the first S, so it's D-E-S, and the first S is silent. Des Vignes is actually French.
Yes.
So I did a bit of digging, and Des Vignes means the vineyards.
Oh.
So I'm guessing that, in the back, in the days of slavery, I think maybe my family back in those days were the ones that were placed in the vineyards, probably doing the work in the vineyards.
Well,
so
there we go.
Yeah, so that's
interesting historical reference, Miss Trini to the bone. Yes, we'll definitely circle back to that legacy that has, of such a mixed culture in Trinidad that has made Trinidad what it is in terms of being the epitome of a melting pot.
Yes.
But let's talk a bit about Keisha and her artistry. So I want you to tell me who you are.
Okay. Every time someone asks me this question, I'm always blushing. Keisha Des Vignes. Now, I would say I'm definitely a woman of color. And when I say color, I mean colors, because I express myself with colors, with my hairstyles, my makeup, my clothes. I love color. I love vibrancy. And especially to be living in a great country as the
Indeed.
UK. The UK. To get myself going, motivated, and even to brighten up other people's day. When I wear color, it seems to bring radiance around me.
Okay, right.
So, yeah. Let's start with the color. In terms of who I am, now I'm actually a science student. I've studied
I didn't know this. This is great. Okay.
I've studied. When people look at me, they think, it's all beauty, but I'm actually a science student. So everything that I've studied, I went the science background of it. So, I can explain and tell you more in depth about your skin, about your hair. So all my, everything to do with my creativity, I tend to kind of look at the scientific part of it first, the underlying. So it's not just what you're seeing on the top.
Right.
Okay. I could go down and tell you, break up those sums and stuff and tell you what it is about. So so I've done a few years of science. I used to work in the hospital as well when I was in Trinidad, and it was always something that I wanted to do. My main being, deep down inside, still I want to become a surgeon.
Wow,
that
Keisha.
was my main. Yeah, that was the goal.
Okay,
and I say was because it's like, it's there, but I feel like I've kind of put it on the back burner a bit, and forwarding more with the beauty career.
Right. Okay.
Right? But I still tend to take that scientific part of it.
Okay.
Which, not blowing my own trumpet, but I think which makes me even better at what I'm doing.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah, because I understand that scientific
the science
part of
behind it.
Yeah.
Right. So, for people listening, I know you as an amazing makeup artist and a hair, would you say stylist? I mean, stylist, hairdresser,
No, I tend to say hair artist.
Hair artist, okay.
Yeah, anything to do with my hair and, makeup and stuff like that, I tend to look at it more of an artist, more than a stylist, because I don't usually stick to the simple things or the usual things. I tend to always put I spruce it up, I'm always mixing and blending and, you know what I mean? So, and I feel it, when I'm doing it, it feels like art that's coming from me. And then the end product looks like art as well. So I decided to go with artist.
I love that. I'm loving everything. I'm so happy to sit down here and have a proper conversation with you. Because usually it's at Carnival on the road.
Yes.
Or when I come to the salon or just fangirling over all your stuff on Instagram. So Trinidad. Let's talk about Trinidad. So you were born and raised in Trinidad.
Yes. Born and raised in Trinidad. My dad is Trinidadian. My mom is from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So I've had, a bit of both. But yes, born and raised in Trinidad. Love, 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 love. You know what? I'm so happy that I was raised in the Caribbean.
Why?
Because I think that is what made me who and how I am today. I know it's not a word, but that brought up sea, as they say,
I love that.
That brought up sea. Yeah, what I mean? Everything, the vibrancy. I mean, for one, everybody know Trinidad as Carnival, right? And all the colours and stuff like that. But what's interesting is that I've never taken part in Carnival in Trinidad.
What? Wait, stop. Hold up. Keisha.
Yeah.
What are you saying to me?
I know.
You've never played mass in Trinidad?
Never. I've never taken part.
The Caribbean home of Carnival.
Yep.
Why is that?
Because of my parents, at the time back then, religious reasons. They're Seventh-day Adventists, so they don't believe in these type of things. You know what I mean? And, at the time being an only child, I was closely looked at. So I couldn't even say running away.
Out.
Yeah, I couldn't even sneak out and stuff. So I used to admire from afar, but I always knew that it would be something I would have gotten into later on because of the vibrancy, the colors, the excitement, the artistry in it. You know what I mean? Because I love sketching, I love drawing, I love designing as well. Anything to do with my hands, you know what I mean? And in those days in Trinidad, we didn't have all these modeling and fashion designers. We didn't have all those things back then.
Right.
When I was
they weren't as prevalent.
Yes.
Weren't as widely known.
It wasn't.
Because they were there, I guess, but not on the forefront.
Exactly. It's not something you could have easily stepped into.
And accessed, right.
Whereas the Carnival, was always there. So that's what would have, I would have said, okay, I'm going into art to do with this. But it had to, it took me to leave the country in order to even get into it.
Why did you leave Trinidad?
Why did I leave?
Yes.
I felt as if staying in Trinidad I wouldn't have flourished as much and gotten the opportunities. To be honest, the opportunities, meeting the people, just the learning experiences, I felt as if I wouldn't have gotten as much as that in Trinidad, and for personal reasons as well. I felt like I wanted to spread my wings, learn the world,
Yes.
And one thing is, when I was studying science and going into medicine, I had the choice going abroad. So I had the choice
Okay.
of going to Cuba.
Yes.
And there was one other country, but
Best place to go for medicine and science, really.
Cuba. But financial reasons that didn't go through.
Okay.
So I spent time working in the hospital a bit, in Mount Hope Hospital. I was really like back and forth because I was working in the hospital and I was also doing IT. So
What, Keisha?
Yes, I know it was like so off, you know what I mean, compared to what I was studying.
Right.
But you know, in Trinidad, I don't know about the rest of the Caribbean, but in Trinidad sometimes, you know, you don't necessarily get, so your first job is not necessarily what you're studying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like you just have to make that money. So
Absolutely.
it's what you get kind of thing. So I got into IT, this really nice company as well. I enjoyed, you know, what I was doing. And I moved up very quickly, and this is, mind you, not having any IT experience. So I'm going into IT business with science.
What were you doing? What were you doing in IT?
So at the point in time, we had a lot of paging going on. There's no telling it, but age.
Oh, you mean the actual
pages?
The
yes.
pages? I've forgotten all about them.
So we had this thing called SkyTel paging. So the company had like loads of different things going on. We had like insurance. We had you know, telecommunications. We have all these different things, you know what I mean? But I was based in the paging sector, so I had to train newcomers how to use the system and, you know, stuff like that.
Right.
So I was moving forward. It was fun, but obviously that's not what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And I felt like I was kind of like a statue. I felt like it was just that. Even though I'm moving forward and upwards in a company, but remember, it's not something that I really wanted to do.
That wasn't your passion.
Yeah, it wasn't my passion. So I was like, you know what? I've been to the UK before, and I was like, I think let me just go for it. You know?
Really?
Yeah. And literally, let's say we in April, at the beginning of April, I said, Keisha, you know what? You're going to England next month. Just so. You know, you just have to take that leap. And I think because I was younger then, nothing was holding me back. You know, and no fear. There was no fear. So I was just like, you know what? I didn't know exactly what I was coming to do yet, but I felt like it was a calling.
Okay.
You know? So I said, okay. So I went, I sorted out everything, just like that, me by myself, you know,
so
young
what were your
teenager.
Parents? What were your parents thinking?
You know what? I'll be very honest. They did not know.
Wow.
They didn't know what I was thinking. They did not know.
So you were preparing to leave the country.
I was preparing to leave.
Your place of birth.
Yes.
And go to a completely different country.
Yes.
And you hadn't informed
No.
or asked for permission
No.
from your parents. How old were you?
I was 19.
Right.
I was 19.
Okay.
Yeah. I was 19. I remember just hinting it to my mom a bit. I was like, you know, I feel like traveling. Because I used to travel a lot anyway.
Right.
Because the company I was working with, you know, we had to go to different Caribbean countries because I used to travel with the engineers.
Okay.
I used to travel with the engineers. I was kind of like the person that will finance, like, you know, keep the money when they, you know, when we're traveling and stuff like that. So, yeah. So I used to travel anyway. So they probably, when I told my mom, oh, you know what, I feel like going to England soon, you know, she probably just thinking, oh, well, yeah, she's traveling with work again.
Right.
You know, but it was like...
So it wasn't the full truth.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't the full truth. Yeah, but you know what, it happened. I came to England. Did
you know anyone, Keisha? Relatives, friends?
I had, well, I have an aunt here, and you know, her family, so her husband and her 3 kids, which when I came the first time, you know, that's who I visited.
Right.
You know, it's my dad's sister.
Right.
And, well, she obviously knew because I was coming to her.
So she didn't tell your parents either?
No, she didn't. I was like, Auntie, you know, I'm coming up, you know, because I need a change, you know, that kind of way. And because she and I, we were always quite close, you know. I was, as I said, I was an only child for such a long time. So I'm the oldest. I didn't have anyone older than me to talk to.
Right.
You know, so I always talked to my aunt, and I said, you know, I'm coming up, and I didn't know exactly what I was going to do just yet, but I said, I'll figure it out. That was my attitude.
Good on you. Good on you.
I'll figure it out, you know. And yeah, when I came up, you know, to be honest, I didn't stay with my aunt that long. It was like 3 months. And after 3 months, I was out on my own.
So what were you doing in those 3 months? Were you in school? Were you working?
Right. So when I came up, she has a friend that have a salon. So my aunt, she's into catering, so she had her own restaurant. So I was kind of in between helping her out and helping out in the salon, right?
What were you doing in the salon?
So I was doing hair.
Had you been doing hair in Trinidad?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So that's what I forgot to say.
Yeah,
I did do a cosmetology course.
Right. So in addition to science, IT, you were already immersing yourself in that world.
Because, as I have to go back, and, it's different, but growing up as an only child, you have to do a lot of things for yourself. You know what I mean? And
for sure.
I don't knock the society or knock my parents for it. I think they made me stronger, in saying, Keisha, you know what, you need to do this. You need to learn that for yourself. You need to sort yourself out.
Right, you need to look after yourself.
You need to look after yourself. So I was doing my hair, grooming myself, and, my friends will see, family will say, oh, Keisha, do this for me now.
Okay.
And I will do it. And I remember my best friend up to today, she's still my best friend. She said, Keisha, if you're so good at it, why don't you go and get qualified?
So that's what you did?
So that's what I did.
In Trinidad
well. Yes,
right.
I got qualified. So imagine I'm doing science, I'm working in IT.
I actually can't imagine, Keisha.
Right? And then I'm doing a cosmetology course. You know what I mean?
Incredible.
It was the best advice to this day, I would say, a good friend gave me.
Okay.
Because if she had not said to me, Keisha, go and get qualified, I don't think it would have came to my head to then start this journey.
Right.
It's that qualification that pushed me, because when I got into the cosmetology, which is still science, because we learned a lot of science, when I got into it, it opened me up and I became even more like, wow, I love this. I enjoyed it more, So in the back of my mind, yes, I'm going to England, but at first it wasn't the main. I felt like I was just leaving Trinidad because I needed new experiences and I needed to see where my life would go beyond
You needed
Trinidad.
to explore.
I needed to explore,
Yeah. So that was kind of your purpose for coming up to England. So you're here,
purpose.
You've been here 3 months, you're working at the salon, you're helping your aunt with the restaurant.
Yeah.
What else is going on in Keisha's world at this point?
Yeah, and just went out and live on my own. So that would have been the first time me now responsibility in terms of you're going to have your own place, And I enrolled myself into college to further now the beauty side of things. So I was doing my research, doing my research. I wasn't dilly-daddling, as they say, because I come for a purpose, you know what I mean? So I wanted to get straight into it as well. And, soul searching. And I was looking at other things. I was like, okay, should I go back into the medicine? Should I go back into science? Like, take on that side of still becoming a surgeon? And, I was looking at finances. I was looking at all these things because remember, it's not like I was being funded.
No, you were doing all this for yourself as a 19-year-old.
Yes, for myself, And you know what? Today I look back on it and I was like, Keisha, you know what? You're good because you didn't get in no trouble. you didn't come off your plan. You know that I stayed on the road basically.
Why do you think that is, Keisha?
I think determination. I think the way I was brought up.
The brought up see?
Yes, the brought up see. And wanting more. Like, I was, I was never a person to be too much into the party life, the street life, you know what I mean? So it didn't interest me.
You were focused on...
I was focused exactly on where I wanted to be, where I saw myself and what I wanted to do. And it's a passion because I so love working with my hands and just learning. Right. You know what I mean? I always felt like I need to be in that educational system where I'm always learning something, And I remember looking at a few colleges and stuff like that. And obviously I'm looking for something that I could afford. Because yes, I could have gone to uni, or I could have gone, do like a higher education, but also it needs to be affordable.
Because you're paying for it yourself.
Because I'm paying for it myself.
And would you have been paying international student rates?
Yeah.
Hi.
Yes.
Which at the time,
right?
What was that? 3 times more?
It was too much more. 3 times. It was too much. It was a struggle.
Oh.
It was a struggle,
Okay.
and when they say, oh, you had to rub Peter to pay Paul, I was rubbing myself. Because, it had times you ain't eating nothing fancy.
Right.
You know what I mean? You ain't buying nothing fancy.
The student life.
Yes, the student life. And even though it was like a first experience to me in terms of that much of a responsibility, I didn't hate it.
Okay.
I didn't hate it. It made me stronger. It made me more confident in myself, happy. I mean, there's times I would have cried, but...
Why? What were those times about when you were crying?
It was, oh God, I miss home.
Oh.
I miss home.
You miss Trinidad.
I miss the beach, the fresh air, the animals. You're waking up and you're hearing the cock crowing in the morning and that type of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
That is what I was missing the most, That's what I was missing.
But then the up
most.
times, though.
But the up times were really good because it's like constantly meeting new people, people who are interested in what I'm doing, people who are pushing me, like my teachers and, the students as well, like who I had a pleasure of meeting and working with and going on the trips with the college as well, because I did a lot and I did not stop. I didn't stop. I went into, not shockingly, but because I was part-time employed with the salon as well.
Okay.
So I started off...
Where was the salon that you...
So this was in Walthamstow.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's closed down years now, but yes, it was in Walthamstow. It was a really nice small beauty shop, mainly hairdressing. But yeah, it everything contributed. Everything and everyone on my journey so far contributed. You know what I mean? And it was just great.
So you were in school, you were studying your craft, honing it, improving it, as they say now, leveling up.
Yep.
And still working at the salon.
Yes. 3 years of hairdressing.
Right.
3 years of beauty therapy.
Together or?
One after the next.
Oh.
One after the next. So I did my 3 years because I like to be focused. So I didn't want to take too many things at once.
Okay.
And I didn't want to shortcut it.
Okay.
So I did the 3 years of hairdressing, 3 years of beauty therapy. I went into barbering. So I'm a qualified barber.
This I know.
Right? I did my theatrical
This is important
as well.
because we don't have a lot of female barbers.
I realize.
Right? So
yes.
this is really important. I'm so happy that you mentioned that because I forgot that. I don't know how, but I did. So yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that as well. I was the only female in my class.
Not
in the barbering class, but it was lovely. It was really, really good. And saying that, I was the only female in my class, but one of my teachers is female as well. So
look at that.
Yeah. But it was a really good idea for me to do it, and because obviously I did the hairdressing and I'm good in hairdressing, and I felt like I wanted my clients to have it all. It needs to be like a one-stop shop.
Okay.
You don't have to come here and go there. You can get everything done by Keisha.
Yes.
Yeah, but I enjoy it. So I really do enjoy it.
Got all of these qualifications.
Yeah.
You're working at the salon. When did you decide, okay, I've got all these qualifications, I've got this experience, I'm going to go out on my own?
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Right. So the first salon that I was, partly employed, I left that salon because now that I was qualified, well qualified, I, got more opportunities. So I was offered to become a salon manager elsewhere. And
you
I
were
was
poached.
Basically. I was like, me, a salon manager? Like, whoa, this was something big, and, but I was like, you know what, Keisha, go for it, because it's another experience, and in the long run, that's what you want. You want to own your own salon and spa, your own beauty,
Yes.
So I was like, just do it. And I did. I left. And it was, I look at it as I'm moving upwards. I'm moving forward.
Well, you have obviously developed this habit of just doing it. Which is amazing. Jump and the net will appear, right?
Exactly. Somewhere along the line, the owner himself, I think his focus was elsewhere.
Okay.
So we weren't, getting everything that we were meant to get for the salon, and things were changing.
Right.
Society changed, financially things changed because, everything kept going up. Prices go up.
We went through a few recessions as well.
Went through a few.
And normally when we do that, you find that women, the first thing to go is the salon trips, getting their hair done,
Yes.
or the
Taking
manicure.
care of ourselves,
They're like,
yeah.
we'll do it at home. We'll do it at home. So we'll give up the ghost on that. So I can
Yeah.
imagine that you were impacted by that as well.
Yes, I was. But as I said, sometimes when you get a kick, you have to take it as something that's kicking you up, not
Right.
kicking you down, that kind of way. Because
I love that.
Yeah, that's how I looked at it. And that's when I started to kind of venture out, because I realized that the shop was probably going to be closed down and stuff like that. So I had to venture a bit and see what was my other options. Obviously, I'm not financially stable to have my own salon and
Right.
stuff like that. But then, I talking to other people, and I realized that I had a clientele behind me, because the clients still want me to do their hair. They still want me to, you know what I mean?
Because you're amazing. Like,
Thank
seriously,
you.
I'm not just saying this because you're sat in front of me. But Keisha, your talent is just
Thank
ridiculous.
you. Thank
I was
you.
even like, oh God, let me put on some lipstick because Keisha come in.
Thank you. Yeah. And not so long it's out, but I met other people who said, Keisha, these are the options you have right now, because I needed something now.
Right.
I didn't really have time to be going on other interviews and seeing where I can, you know what I mean? I needed something because I had clients behind me. Okay, where are we going to be?
Where
What's
are we going to
going on?
find you?
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so one of my friends who I actually worked with previously when I just came, and she was one of the girls that was working in that first salon, she and her partner now decide they're going to open a salon. So you see, everything kind of lines itself
Yes,
up.
it did.
It happened in such a way where I wasn't down too long, that kind of thing. I have another friend, it's my aunt's husband's cousin.
Right.
Right?
Extended family.
As we say, pumpkin vine.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So she and I became very close for the entire time that I've been here. And she knew other people. So she knew this guy called Ruben P. Joseph.
Right.
Right? It's a fellow Trinidadian who's on the scene with, a lot of modeling.
Absolutely.
And
Celebrities.
his choreography. And all these things.
Yes.
So, and listen, my pumpkin vine, right? She is not even into beauty. She's a chef. But ask me how she gets to know Ruben. I don't know.
Well, I mean, seriously, how did that...
I can't even remember.
Maybe he attended an event that she catered or something.
Maybe
something.
Something.
But the connection was made.
But the connection was made. You know
Right.
what? And I say, by God's grace, I ain't even questioning it. This was for me. That kind of way. Let me just take it. Yeah. So she introduced me to Ruben. I went down to West London, saw Ruben. I went to the Yard.
Oh, yes.
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 Lovely art and everything like that.
Love that centre. It's in West London, right?
Yes. And I felt like, wow. I felt like a bit of home came back to me. And it made me kind of catch myself like, you remember what you wanted to do?
Doing? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes, you remember what you wanted to do. So it was a really, really good. So from one advice to a link. You know what I mean? So the first advice was, Keisha, go and get qualified in England. You understand? Second thing, she come and say, Keisha, meet Ruben.
Boom.
And it's through meeting Ruben. It was like a push to the limit, but it was a good push.
Very good
push. It was
push.
a really
because
good push.
now we have you as, listen, the queen of Carnival artistry.
Oh my God.
Honestly, Keisha, your work, when you work on those bands and complement their costumes the way that you do, you don't just do the makeup, you give them character. And I think that's why so many people love you doing their makeup for Carnival. I mean, the line last year. I was like, but wait, I booked my appointment. Who are these people?
I
but
know.
seriously.
I wish I could have, just put myself here there. But yeah, that's when, I definitely needed the team.
Yes.
Because I know everyone wants Keisha to do it, but you know what? I only have two hands. And I wish I could, do it for everyone. But, I actually started training a few people to obviously work with me you know.
So you're now passing on your skills that you have honed and grown since coming to London from Trinidad as a 19-year-old independent young woman, just doing it. Look where you are now.
Yeah. One of the main goals I have is to open my own salon.
Like my own.
My own. Like, I need to own that. You know what I mean? But it's the vision I have. It's not just a salon. It's a beauty school, right? I want people to be able to come there and learn artistry as I've learned it, you know, and beyond. So how I would like it to be is I have like the, you know, like a beauty institute. So I want like a 3-story building. I just say it, right? That's exactly how I vision it, right? A 3-story building. Upstairs, you have the institute where everybody will be studying, they'll be learning, and it's from skincare to the body art, makeup, hair, everything. It has to be, because that's what I'm interested in. I want to learn everything in terms of beauty, so I want everyone to learn. If they're interested, it's everything. As well, right? And they learn in the scientific
almost
part
like
as
a
well.
grand diploma. Yes. So not just one, not just two, 3, all elements.
Yes, all elements. So we have the institute on the top. Then I want the like a spa in the middle, and then I want the salon at the bottom, right? So, and what I intend to do is obviously, so you could come get your hair done at the salon, you go upstairs, you get your beauty treatments. And what I want to do is that the students at the institute, I want to be able to give them, when they're qualified, to give them hands-on experience at the salon and at the beauty shop. Okay. So before they go out into the world, after they finish studying with me, they're going to get hands-on. So they're going to, you know, do a bit of internship in there, and then they could go on. So I'd make sure that they're 110% ready.
Just like you were.
Just like I was, yes.
Wow.
So that is the vision. So no matter what, that is always the vision, because I enjoy teaching. I really enjoy showing people to create exactly how I create, you know. And I also learn, because it's like I would be doing my own thing, but when I'm talking about it, when I'm showing them it, I realize, oh, but I could do this too. You know, I could do this way. And I end up still bringing out fresh ideas from myself. So that's why it's good to not you can't be selfish. You can't keep things to yourself. No. When you have skills, when God give you a gift, a talent, it's better that you go out and be fruitful and share it with other people, because then you bring so much more out of your own self you wouldn't even realize than keeping it in. And that's what I've learned. And that really brought me joy. That is, I love doing it. I love.
And it shows, Keisha. It shows in you are the best advertisement for your work. You really are. If you guys were here in the studio, if you could see, maybe we should start filming. No, let's not start filming the podcast. But Keisha's beautifully colored braids were like pink, greens, purples, and her immaculately done makeup, where I'm like, Lord, I did make a little bit of an effort, but maybe not enough. Seriously, Keisha, you are the best advertisement. And so where can people actually find your work and find out how to book you, even, not just for Carnival, because I know that you do makeup for photo shoots beyond Carnival. Where can we find you? So right now I'm on Instagram. So I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook as well. So you can find me at Keisha Des Vignes. So it's KeishaDes Vignes, one word, Keisha Des Vignes, that's my name. And you can find it on all social media platforms. So it's my name on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I am on YouTube, but I have not been doing the YouTube as much. Only because of time and stuff like that. Okay. So, YouTube is something you have to really dedicate time to. A lot of people don't realize that. They don't. So, find me. I do, however, do my live tutorials and demos on Facebook Live. And sometimes I do it on Instagram. So you can find me there. Click it anytime. And you can also email me, KeishaDesVignes@yahoo.com. Or you can even reach me at beautybydevignes. .info at gmail.com. Yes. Right. That's why I gave them the Yahoo first, and that was so easy. A lot easier. Yeah. Excellent. Keisha, it's been lovely having you here with us.
Thank you.
I have learned so much more about you, girl. The science, the IT, you know, your strength of character. 19. I didn't realize you were that young when you left Trinidad, but you've brought Trinidad to the UK in all its glory.
Thank you.
So we're very lucky to have you over here. And thank you for being here on this wonderful spring day.
Thank you for having me. It's been a blast. I'm still blushing.
Yes, you are. She is. She's still blushing.
Oh, thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Keisha. Well done. Thanks for listening to the Island Girls Rock podcast. If you like what you hear, and we really hope you do, please subscribe, rate, or even comment. We'd really love to hear from you. You can catch every episode of Island Girls Rock podcast on Acast, Apple, Castbox, or your favorite podcast app. You can connect with us on Twitter and Instagram using IGR_love or with hashtag Island Girls Rock Pod. You can also visit islandgirlsrock.com to find out more about who we are and what we do. This podcast was produced by Unedited for the Unedited Stories Network. See you again soon.